Hi, I'm Dr. Patrick Garrett for the Cleaning Challenge. Today we want to talk about something that comes up every year, which is how the heck do I eat healthy during the holidays? Every year we get together with our friends and family and eat a bunch of crap, and we usually regret it, right? You know, the average American not only gains a pound a year on average, but now we're actually seeing a pound extra just during the holidays. The average Thanksgiving meal is about 5,000 calories. So, if you jog or a couple, 10 miles after lunch, you'll do okay, right? You'll just gain an extra pound anyways, because that's only going to burn 2,000 calories of that 5,000 calorie meal, which leaves 3,000 calories, and about 3,500 calories of extra food is about a pound. So let's talk about how we can actually be successful with this. So let's start with turkey, and really understand that Thanksgiving food is just a made-up thing. They didn't eat this stuff with the Pilgrims and the Indians, so you can do whatever the hell you want to do and eat healthy, right? Especially if you control it, you do whatever you want, and if they don't like it, great, they didn't not come back. But we don't want a bunch of anxiety and depression. We're number one in anxiety and depression in the United States, and if you look at the average Thanksgiving meal, yeah, it should be that way. And then when you look at the happiest countries in the world, we're 44th happiest country in the world. So let's make Thanksgiving a little bit happier by eating foods that make us happy, not depressed and sad and regretful. So when it comes to turkey, you can have turkey for Thanksgiving, you can have turkey for Christmas. The first Pilgrims ate like deer and eel, so turkey's fine. If you can get wild caught, that's awesome, because then it's not corn fed, it's not highly inflammatory, but it's a once in a while meal, so just do the best you can. There's a lot of controversy of should I eat white meat, should I eat red meat, the fast twitch meat or the dark meat, but really I think that's just foul-based racism, and we don't need to get into all that, right? Eat the turkey, eat real food. So when it comes to stuffing though, stuffing can be horrible, right? Gluten is just a sensitivity in just about everybody. We've been doing IgG food sensitivity testing for about 13, 14 years maybe, and like 99% of the people have gluten sensitivity. So instead of making people feel sluggish and depressed after they eat that stuffing, go ahead and get like a paleo gluten-free recipe, or even get a gluten-free one that may not be all that great, but it's a once-in-a-while thing, right? So they'll use like potato flour and tapioca starch and white rice flour. That's not the greatest stuff in the world, but you could actually just take gluten-free bread and make it into crumbs, make it into toast, chop it up, and then make your stuffing. And this stuffing should be super healthy for you too. Lots of nuts, seeds, herbs, and really, if you pack it with flavor, you won't notice any taste of Wonder Bread versus gluten-free bread. And just know, if you took that Wonder Bread to like Singapore, you can go to jail for 12 years and get a $500,000 fine. That's how bad it is. Now during the holidays, that just means Aunt Edna is just a little more upset, and the kid's a little bit grumpier, and then there's a few more fights. The other thing you can do is hummus for your vegetables instead of ranch, right? So that's a really good idea, because ranch, of course, is dairy. Dairy is one of the number 2 most common allergens, so then you get a lot of people with like breathing problems. It actually can cause a little more anxiety, so we don't want to do that. So instead of offering ranch, offer different hummuses, and so you can actually buy those. And hummus just means chickpea, and if you can't have chickpea, you can make hummus out of cannelloni or white beans or something else if you want to. And if you like baba ganoush, right, instead of ranch, that tastes like ranch. But all they do is take an eggplant and they cook it down in the oven until it collapses on itself. And when that happens, then you just scoop that white stuff out of there, and then you use the same seasonings and the same technique you would for hummus. And hummus, my 8-year-old makes hummus. So anybody can make hummus. If I can make anything, you can make anything. Because I grew up on fast food and microwaves, and home cooking was Hamburger Helper. So you can do it if I can do it. The other thing is, there's several different ones. If you go to the store and just buy it, then you don't have to make it, right? But that Sabri's pretty good. There's another one, again, look at the ingredients to see what's in those. I think Private Selection is actually a pretty big mess, so don't get that kind. And then be careful the hummus, or sorry, the baba ganoush that you would get in like the olive bar at like Dillon's or big grocery store, because a lot of times they use dairy in that, and then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. When you do, so for people that wanted to have a little alcohol, you don't want beer because beer is just soda with alcohol. White wine is just soda with alcohol. So you really want to try to get red wine. So like a Merlot, a Malbec, a Shiraz, Cab Sauv, something like that. And just maybe have like 2 or 3 different ones for people to try, as opposed to offering them stuff that's just going to get them jacked up and then crashing very quickly. And high amounts of sugar that's in like white wine and beer and soda, those actually spike your blood sugar real fast. You overproduce insulin, it drops too fast, and now you got to raise blood sugar back up so you can function. And we use epinephrine, norepinephrine, and cortisol to do that, which means more anxiety, more stress. And the holidays are stressful enough, you don't need to be jacking up your epinephrine for that. So then you just have that general anxiety disorder, and there's no reason for it. You just ate or drank a bunch of crap. When it comes to vegetables, boy, we took really good vegetables, really healthy stuff, build your hormone kind of stuff, and we just made it into crap and candy. So you don't really want to do the candied yams. You don't want to put the marshmallow and all that whole crap on there, right? It's just candy at that point. Just eat some damn candy. Don't make your healthy meal of the candy. So do roasted sweet potatoes, right? Or roasted yams. Or better yet, actually chop up a bunch of roasted vegetables, toss it with some olive oil and some sea salt. Not Morton sea salt, but like real actual sea salt, some pink Himalayan salt. So then you get your iodine, so then everybody has more energy, and they're not falling asleep after Thanksgiving. You go play football in the yard, that kind of stuff, right? And it has 40 to 80 other minerals in there, so then everything works better after that meal. And you can just put that salt and that olive oil in there, toss it up, put it in a roasting pan for about, like especially a stone pan, so it kind of crisps up a little bit. But you can do that for about 45 minutes at 450 degrees, and those are awesome. They taste awesome, especially cold. So that midnight Thanksgiving snack, those still taste great. So, and you can throw in some, rosemary in there too, and that'll be great too. So then it's 100,000 times more antioxidant than vitamin A, C, or E. So you're like anti-aging for that little midnight snack too. Now with rolls, again, you can do paleo recipes. Those are fine, because again, paleo, it's not, we won't get into that. But paleo, they don't like using rice flour and white flours and grains like that. So you can make your rolls out of almond flour, and you can make them out of coconut flour. Because, I remember those cavemen grinding up that coconut, making some flour rolls. It'll be just like the old days, right? But those are great because then nobody gets depressed from eating the rolls. And if you want butter, use olive oil and a little dash of salt for butter when you're cooking. But if you want to have that pat of butter, or the butter on top of the potatoes or something like that, then just use Earth Balance. And really, it doesn't matter. There are several different ones. Don't get Smart Balance. Smart Balance is toxic crap. And when you look at Earth Balance, look at the fats. Most of them are pretty good. But if you look at total fats, it says unsaturated and saturated. If it's 12 total, 6 of one and 5 of the other, math-wise that doesn't work out. As long as you're not from Texas, you'll know that that does not work out. So you want to make sure that the saturated, unsaturated equal the total fat. If they don't, what they're leaving out is trans fat. Even if it says 0 trans fat, that's heart attack fat, right? It only harms you. So legally, they don't have to tell you if it's under 0.5 milligrams per serving or something like that. So legally, it can say 0, even though it doesn't add up to 0. So we don't want to be killing our family during the holidays either. Now, traditional gravy is really what you want to do, because traditional gravy is you just take the fat and the drippings off that healthy turkey, and then you make a little roux out of it with some, arrowroot or some tapioca flour or something like that. Or any kind of gluten-free whole grain flour. That's fine. That's fine. And then you can make a wonderful gravy, put lots of seasoning in there, and with the fat and the seasoning, everybody will be happy and nobody will be suffering from that. When it comes to things like casseroles, you don't want to really do casseroles. Casseroles end up just becoming a nightmare of crap. They're easy to make. But you know what's easier to make? Just green beans with a little salt, sea salt and olive oil, right? That's better. That's what you want to do. So don't take it and put breadcrumbs on there, which is going to cause depression and a bunch of other crap. So keep it simple. Now, pumpkin pie, you want to do that, not pecan pie, not any of the other high sugar pies. You know, they're going to just make everybody all fat and depressed. Give them anxiety, right? So pumpkin pie should be calming because pumpkin actually builds progesterone. Progesterone makes you feel awesome, and what better way to spend the holidays but feeling awesome? So you can make that crust out of a gluten-free flour. You can buy it. You can make almond flour crust. It's easy, you know. And then pumpkin pie by itself should actually be fairly healthy. If it asks for milk, just use almond milk or coconut milk or flax milk or some you know, non-dairy milk that you really like. And that'll be fine. And then try cider. Don't do eggnog. Eggnog's a big mess. And then really like cranberry relish instead of cranberry sauce. Because cranberries were probably at the original like Thanksgiving and Christmas traditions, but they didn't make it into a bunch of relish crap that makes everybody sick. So while it might taste good, it's not good. Not good for you. Not good for your family. So, my wife, I mean, she makes this crazy delicious relish dish that's just phenomenal. And it's all healthy for you. It all should make you feel better after you eat that. And then, you know, something like salad instead of fruit salads. That would be a great idea. And then, you know, doing something like adding something a little extra or unique to each holiday meal. So like quinoa tabbouleh, which that'd be awesome, right? There's not the wheat tabbouleh or the couscous one, but with quinoa and lots of parsley or cilantro, man, that's awesome. And that's an easy recipe to find online, you know. And there's even a cooking show that I did that we actually have that on there too. And then the last thing probably is mashed potatoes. And mashed potatoes by themselves, you know, let that be the worst thing that you're having, right? If you use real, actual mashed potatoes, you throw a little sea salt in there, thyroid works better, and then you throw in a little olive oil, that's great. You want a little bit creamier? Instead of using cream cheese, which is going to cause some anxiety, actually use tofutti. So tofutti is soy, non-GMO, kind of like cream cheese. So it'll give that creamy texture. And then if you really want to add some seasonings to it, throw in some onion salt or some garlic salt or real actual roasted garlic. That would be the bomb. That stuff's great. I made that the other day. My oldest daughter said, "Dad, these are really good. They're like a restaurant makes." Like, well, great. Most people go to restaurants like, "Hey, this tastes like home cooking," right? So we're the opposite for some reason. I don't know. So all of that being said, you can control how people feel based on what you feed them. So you want to change the mood of the holidays? Change the food of the holidays. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.